So, welcome back. You're coming into the tail end of what essentially has been almost maybe longer than a year-long journey. Last year, we began a Being the Change Challenge where we explored the seven and the proposed eighth principle. And then we did another couple of services examining the eighth principle in Article 2. And so I was like, how do we finish this series of the Be the Change Challenge? So walking it how you talk it is how we're going to close this out. And so walking it how you talk it, embracing the 6 sources of Unitarian Universalism. So Article 2, as it currently exists, it holds our principles and our sources. And just a little bit of history, so we know how it all came together. Remember that in 1961, there was the merger. And at the time of the merger in 1961, they wanted to create a single document that outlined the core beliefs that existed at the time. And it took them over a year to create that document, but they did, and they were able to vote it into place in 1961. And that lived until 1981. And we know that in 1981, that's when Article 2 was split into the 2 lists, and it created a list of the 7 principles, which we talked in great detail about. And then it created a list of our 6 sources. And our 6 sources are what would essentially be the foundations of what we believe, affirm, and promote as Unitarian Universalists. Our principles are our aspirations, and our 6 sources are our foundations. And so there's a special St. Patrick's Day gift to anybody who can name the 6 sources quick, fast. Anybody? No takers? No takers? I wasn't sure what the 6 sources are, but I've heard them referenced. And since nobody could answer it, there will be a quiz after the next couple of minutes here. So get your pens and papers ready, because this is being graded. There are 6 sources that our congregations affirm and promote. 1, direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life. Words and deeds of prophetic people which challenge us to confront powers and structures of evil with justice, compassion, and the transforming power of love. 3, wisdom from the world's religions, which inspires us in our ethical and spiritual life. 4, Jewish and Christian teachings, which call us to respond to God's love by loving our neighbors as ourselves. 5, humanist teachings, which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and the results of science, and warn us against idolatries of the mind and spirit. And the last is spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions, which celebrate the sacred circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. So those are our 6 foundational, as I said, sources for Unitarian Universalism. And my plan today is to do a bullet train run through of each of those 6 places and talk about it in the context of walking it how you talk it. And what I mean by that is, how do we as Unitarian Universalists authentically live as Unitarian Universalists? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to take you on a journey back in time to uncover the origins of a phrase we often use without second thought, That phrase is the real McCoy. This expression, synonymous with authenticity and genuine quality, has intriguing roots and spans across continents and cultures. The phrase, the real McCoy, is steeped in folklore and history, with several theories about how it began. When I started this, I thought I could just jump in and tell you exactly where the real McCoy came from because I thought I knew the story. And a little more research found a couple other tentacles that made me not exactly sure. So one popular narrative takes us to the world of boxing in the late 19th and 20th centuries. Kid McCoy, a renowned American boxer, was known for his formidable skill in the ring. Legend has it that after a spectator questioned the authenticity of a knockout punch, McCoy delivered another, leading observers to conclude that he was indeed the real McCoy, the genuine article, unmatched in prowess. Now there's another theory that transports us to the engineering feats of Elijah McCoy. Elijah McCoy was an African-American inventor of the 19th century. With numerous patents to his name, McCoy's inventions in steam engine lubrication systems were so superior that they prompted buyers to specifically request products bearing his design, insisting on the real McCoy to avoid inferior imitations. Yet the phrase might even predate these two figures when I look deeper, with some suggestions lying that back in the Scottish Highlands, there was a rum runner during Prohibition in that place. And each of these stories come together and they weave a tapestry about the human endeavor and the quest for authenticity. And what these tales share in common is, again, the pursuit of excellence and the unmistakable identity for something or someone being genuinely superior. The real McCoy embodies more than just authenticity. It represents a standard of quality that stands the test of time. So I think it was 2018 when I first walked in those doors on a whim. And in the course of the past 5 or 6 years, people have asked me questions like, what is a Unitarian Universalist? And what do Unitarian Universalists believe? So what we tried to do and what we sought to do over the past year in the Be the Change Challenge was to take each of the principles one at a time and to seek to embody them in a way. And so what I'm talking to you today about and what I'm challenging you today is, when someone sees you, and let's give an example. Let's say they see you and they are the witness to you having an encounter with a person that reminds you of your ex, or they are the witness to you encountering a person that is of an extreme, different political opinion of you, right? They're a fly on the wall, and they witness a person that is what we'll just call in natural opposition to your point of view. Someone that naturally gets under your skin as you understand it. When that witness, as the fly on the wall, observes you, and they ask the question, did you walk it how you talk it? What is it that they're gonna observe? And then, bringing us back to our foundation, in those moments when we have a time where we actually are the observer of our own behavior and we look back on a situation and we say, we didn't live up to the mark. That wasn't kind. The new Article 2 is centered in love. If you look back on a situation and you see something that's a 4-letter word and it's not love, but it was you. That brings us back to our foundation. And the challenge is for us to get into these places. And I think the first of our sources, for me, is the most important of our sources, because our first source is not rooted in having to read something. It's not rooted in having to believe something. It's not rooted in having to do anything external to yourself. It's actually direct experience of transcending mystery and wonder. So for me, I wrote a couple of notes and I said, for me, there's a couple things, all of them bring me to the now. Because it's when we come into the now, into the present moment, that's the only thing that's real, right? This very moment here now is the only thing that's real. I'm thinking about the corned beef and cabbage that I'm gonna eat later. I'm thinking about the lovely Italianish smells that are filling the room right now and distracting me and wanting me to hurry through my words because there's food ready now. But it's just this moment now as I'm engaging with you that's real. So for me, one of my favorite things that brings me to the now is nature, right? You can start to think of the things that bring you to the present moment, that help you stay rooted in the present moment. For me, one of them is nature. And as most of you know, I love to create. Photography is one of my interactions with nature. So I love to freeze a moment in myself and through the camera. And I love that. And I've been able to create some really amazing moments just in that moment of now. And then another thing that really works for me is meditation. Meditation, yoga, cooking, cleaning. These are all things that are foundational. And it's also in some of these things that I can reflect in that moment where I say that wasn't right. I'm trying to focus on my breath and I see a picture of myself doing or saying something that I thought was very witty or very smart at the time. And it's in that moment of reflection with myself that I'm able to self-correct. And then for me, the challenge is holding on to that correction for the next time I'm able to put that same experience to a practical application. Words of our prophetic people. That's something that is cultivated by each of us. I often share with you the words of James Baldwin. He's a source that I like to look towards because I feel that he was very transformative in his power of love and in the way that he confronted evil and promoted justice. We talked about, we didn't talk about this, we talked about number 4, but number 3, wisdom from the world's religions. We've had, over the course of just my time here at the UUFLB, we've had speakers come in. Do you guys remember the gentleman that had us actually get up and physically face east and face west and face north? And there was this kinetic element. And some people articulated that they weren't into that exact experience. But for me, I found, for me, it brought me into a moment of the now, and it made me more mindful of what was different when I was facing east and when I was facing west, when I was facing north, and when I was facing south, right? And there was a different moment for me in each of those moments. And that's right there in our sources, that we're going to find wisdom from the world's religions. The 4th is the Jewish and Christian teachings. And we were able, in our centering thought, to pull out wisdom from St. Patrick. We often cite the great teacher Jesus. We have very different connections. And for those who don't know, our historical beginnings and our historical framework is one that is a liberal Christian religion. And I wanted to go back and just talk about our where I brought up James Baldwin. I didn't bring him up because he's a Unitarian Universalist. He's one of the sources that I refer to. But in the world of Unitarian Universalists, if you think about Unitarian Universalist history, there are very thick tomes of history relating to the forefathers and forewomen of Unitarian Universalism. And why I say that is because in the realm of the people who are prophetic people, many of them are forgotten to time and forgotten to later generations. And there are all these books. Many of them are on reading lists if you are in the path to becoming a minister. And in all of these books, they talk about the prophetic people from within the tradition of Unitarian Universalism and where they go. Our fifth source is humanist teachings, right? Reason and science. And so for each of us, we're able to make our best judgments. And in this space, we're able to create a discourse where we share. We've had various people come through with various opinions. And one of the things that I think about, and I'd like to challenge us to be more mindful towards, and this is about where do we go in the future as this particular community. And one of the things that this community has an opportunity to do, and I don't know how it looks, but from a political viewpoint, we're very homogeneous in our presentation. And I don't know what that says or what that means, that if we say, what do you think of this? Everybody says, I like that. But that creates some sort of opportunity. And one of the other things that we've been doing over the past year are looking for opportunities for us to change and to grow and to develop. And so in cultivating a space, in our regular worship words that are shared by our worship associates, we say that we're a community that's open to all. And I don't know what it means for us to have a varied community of political opinions, but I challenge us to think about it, because if we're going to walk it how we talk it, we have to have a place that is welcoming to all. And we have to have a conversation within each of us individually and within each of with each of ourselves as a group about how can we change that one particular point. And so in the realm of life's vast journey, each of us is bestowed, So what I'm going to encourage you to do is go into these 6 sources. My favorite source is number 1, and being in the now. But I encourage you, as you go through your day, know that there are different individuals, whether it be someone within your family, someone that you have no idea who they are, someone that's within your workspace, that are like a fly on the wall, and they might not have any malice, they may not have any actual judgment associated with it, but they're asking the question, what is a YoUU? And they're looking at you. And it's through what we do and through how we do it that they'll be able to define their answer. So I'm going to invite Carol to come back to the piano and lead us in our closing song, number 151, I Wish I Knew How. So please now stand as you're comfortable in mind, body, or spirit, and join Carol in singing number 151, I Wish I Knew How.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I could break these chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things I could say 'em loud, say 'em clear, for the whole world to hear. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear, for the whole world to hear. I wish I could share all the love in my heart. I move all the parts that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see I'd agree. Everyone should be free. Then you'd see I'd agree. Everyone should be free. I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm giving to live. I wish I could do all the things I can do. Though I'm way overdue, I'd be staring anew. Now I'm way overdue, I'd be starting anew. I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if I found I could fly. I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know how it feels to be free. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know how it feels to be free.
Now it's time for us to extinguish the chalice at the UFOB and within our homes. So if you lit one at home, please extinguish yours at home while I extinguish the one here in the sanctuary. In the realm of life's vast journeys, each of us is bestowed a chalice filled with the essence of our true selves. This chalice, glowing with the potential of our inner light, demands nothing less than to uphold with integrity and authenticity. To extinguish its flame is to deny the world the brilliance of our genuine spirit, so carry its light with you. Let us be like the real McCoy in a world that often celebrates the facade. It's the courage to walk it how we talk it, that our chalice burns brightest, guiding not only our path, but also illuminating the way for others. In living true to ourselves and our words, we honor the sacred trust placed within us, the trust to be authentic, to lead with purpose, and to manifest the dreams that resonate with our soul's calling. Remember, the world doesn't just need more light, it craves the unique light that you only can shine. Let your actions reflect your deepest truths. Let your words be the echo of your actions, and let your chalice burn so brightly that it cannot be extinguished. In doing so, you become a beacon of authenticity, a testament of the power of living as your one true self. Embrace your chalice, fuel its flame with actions that align with your words, and embark on a journey that is authentically yours. For it is in being the real McCoy that we find our true purpose and leave an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of those around us. Let us walk it how we talk it, and in doing so, light up the world with our authenticity. Ashe, namaste, and blessed be.
Let there be peace on earth. Let begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With earth as our mother, we are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my song of vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Happy St. Patrick's. Have a lovely day.